So I just got done doing some testing on this monkey here with whatever ECM is in it now. If the owner of the bike wants to comment on what ECM is in it, he can. Whoever's flash tunes in it. I know it's a stock computer and it's probably one of two people's flashing it. So I've got an NTK wideband sensor right here. It's tied into this Dyna2 Motorsports branded RTD device for data logging. And I've got a log here. I did a poll to show you what all I'm able to record. Don't have a lot of things to watch, but I've got enough things to see. This histogram over here, you can see I started at about 3,000 RPM to 10,000. Now, granted, this is only at full throttle. This wasn't, across the whole board, but his air-fuel ratio with this mail order tune for this bike, you can see how rich it is. 10.4, 10.0. It did lean out a little bit, got up to 13-to-1 at 6,000, but by 10,000 RPM, it's all the way back down to tens. So when I go to tune the bike, what I'm going to shoot for in the last four columns there, 60 to 75%, which is, you basically call it full throttle, because at full throttle it reads 78%. I'm going to try to make this around 12.7 from 60 to 75% throttle. And from 55 over, I'm going to slowly blend it in to where it's going to be a tie leaner. I think at like 50 to 55%, I got 13-to-1. And I know by 30%, I've got probably about low 14s. But this is his air-fuel ratio at full throttle from 3,000 to 10.5. Here is his injector pulse. How long? I've got injector pulse there. This is how long his injector was firing for. Because it's so rich, check out his injector duty cycle. All the way to almost 100% injector, which obviously we've got room to lean it out because the air fuel dipping into the 10s. We'll be able to get that injector duty cycle down into the 80s once we lean it out. And then finally, for you to see, there's ignition timing. So this was the ignition timing during the pull. So at 3,000 RPM, full throttle had 21 degrees of timing. And at the end of the pull, it had 30 degrees of timing. For a reference, in case you wonder or do not know, or maybe you don't care or you do care, the ignition timing on these bikes at factory form peak around 6,000 RPM at 28 degrees. And then because they run them so lean, by, as the RPM increases, they drop down to 24 degrees of timing. So we're going to probably keep these same timing values as what I was going to shoot for. It's about what I shoot for when I was doing these before with the Power Vision stuff. But we're going to get that air-fuel ratio right. So just over here in this log shows 10,000 RPM. It shows the throttle position, the injector pulse, the injector duty cycle, and then the air-fuel ratio. So you can see this white line down here. It's all the way down the tens. That is way too rich. I'm sure guys that know a little bit about tuning, the Bryans of the world and the Keiths of the world will tell you, yeah, that's way too rich, and it's inconsistent. So yeah, look at that, all the way down the tens. So I think there's some improvement to be had with this bike. Get that injector duty cycle away from 100% and get the. I think we can make a little more power with it and clean it up. It's also, on initial startup, it was way too rich. When it's cold, it's down in the 10s, and when it idles, it's low 12s. So we got some work to do, but we're gonna get this little monkey dialed in. But that's just a little preview. Again, this is with whatever calibration is in it now. I'm gonna take a break, go get my other stuff that I forgot, to be able to read the ECM and find out what operating system's in the computer, build a tune file for it, use my tools to flash it, and then we'll start gathering data. And the end goal is me spread this out a little bit. I'm going to fill in as many of these boxes as possible to get air fuel values. Then to turn around and then make corrections using the spreadsheet that I posted a few days ago. Get those corrections, dump it into the calibration, retest, and keep doing it till I'm within a couple % of my targets. This should be, I said this should be a lot of fun. Oh, there it is right there. See, I've got this histogram going from 1250 RPM to 10.5. And, God, those air fuel ratios. I get it. It's, you know, it's a mail order tune, but that's a bit rich. So just keep that in mind, guys. You know, base tunes or stuff that you get mailed. You see that says it's tuned for a certain part. They got to kind of err on the side of caution. I'm not throwing mud at anybody. Like, you got to err on the side of caution, but I would hope to maybe have more of like a 10% margin of error. You know, 5% would be awesome. But I know that it doesn't need to be 10.0. It needs to be about 12.7. So that's every bit of 20+% too rich. So we'll get it dialed in. I said I'm gonna run this here with what I've got involved in all this now. I'm gonna do these tune files for a little while at $200. So, thanks for checking it out. I'm gonna stop this and go get to work.